Welcome to Autism ADHD TV with Holly. That's me, a neurodivergent therapist, mom, and passionate advocate for affirming approaches. Maybe you're a parent trying to support your neurodivergent child or teen, a therapist or educator wanting to learn more, or you're a neurodivergent person looking for strategies that truly honor who you are. Whatever brought you here, you're in the right place. We talk about the real stuff: emotional regulation, self-awareness, executive functioning, self-advocacy skills that build confidence, social connections that are authentic, and so much more. And hey, if you're looking for deeper learning, check the description notes below for information on my parent workshops and continuing education trainings for therapists. You're going to love it. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a like so you never miss out. And if you find Autism ADHD TV helpful, please share it with someone, because together we can create more understanding about neurodiversity. Now let's get into it. Welcome back to the Autism ADHD Podcast. Thank you so much for joining me today. And if you are a new listener, welcome. I am excited about this topic because it's something I see make a huge difference for families. It's all about ditching the perfect mom act and just being your real, authentic self, quirks and all. And here's the cool part. When you do this, you're actually teaching your neurodivergent child one of the most important life skills, which is self-acceptance. If you've ever felt like you are putting on a show, trying to look like you have it all together while hiding the parts of yourself that don't fit the good mom image, today's episode is especially for you. Let's talk about how dropping that act isn't just about freeing you, but it might be exactly what your child needs to see. The whole perfect mom thing is exhausting. Let's just call it what it is. The pressure to be this mom that has it all together is ridiculous for any mother. But for moms of neurodivergent kids, it is on a whole other level. Think about it. You're supposed to do all the regular mom things, cook healthy meals, make sure that's what your child's eating, getting all the homework done, cleaning the house, looking put together, plus being an advocate, researcher, educator, therapist, appointment coordinator, plus deal with the stares and the comments when your child doesn't behave in public the way other people expect. Plus, you need to smile politely through other people giving you advice who have absolutely no clue. Plus, balancing the acceptance of your lovely child exactly as they are, while also figuring out where they need support and who would be the best person to provide it. No wonder so many of us end up putting on a mask just to get through the day. We stuff down our reactions. We pretend things are fine when they're really hard. We try to look like those other moms who seem to have it all figured out. But here's the thing, all that pretending, exhausting, like I mentioned earlier, and worse, it sends this accidental message to our kids. Some parts of yourself need to be hidden in order to be acceptable. Not exactly what we're going for. So for a minute, I want to talk about getting back to the real you. And maybe not even just getting back to the real you, but discovering yourself for the first time. That's where I am in my point in life. Before we show our kids it's okay to be themselves, we need to remember who we really are. And that can be tricky, especially since neurodivergence often runs in families. I can't tell you how many moms come into my office after their child receives a diagnosis or after we've been working together for a while. There's this light bulb moment. Wait a minute, that actually sounds like me. I'm the same way. Whether we're talking about ADHD, autism, sensory stuff, many of us have spent our whole lives trying to fit in, never realizing there was a reason things felt harder. So I want you to take a second and ask yourself, what parts of your personality do you tone down around others? When do you feel most relaxed that you can be yourself? Is it when you're alone? Is it when you're in a particular environment? Is it while you're doing a particular activity? Is it with certain people? What activities make you lose track of time in the best way, where you really get into it and before you know it, it's been an hour? What sounds, textures, or situations make you want to just crawl in a corner? What social rules have always seemed weird or completely confusing to you? What quirks have people made comments about or even teased you about over the years? Now, remember, there is zero judgment here, just curiosity. Getting to know the real you is step one in letting her out more often. And like I mentioned, I turned 50. I am letting her out more often. Pretending comes at a big price. I know, because I have tried to do it most of my life. This whole acting normal thing, it comes at a big cost. And that cost is, there's a lot of things. I'm just going to talk about a few. It's exhausting. It is utterly draining. It's not regular tired. It is beyond that. It's confusing. After a while, you even question, what do I really, truly like? Who am I? It can make you anxious. You're constantly monitoring yourself. You're always so worried and stressed. You can ignore your own needs. And some of that might be because your needs weren't met when you were younger, or you try to express what you needed and someone minimized your experience or told you act normal. Pretending can lead to burnout because no one can pretend forever. You don't want to. That's not really living a full and meaningful life. It can also disconnect you from your gut instincts about parenting. And here's the kicker. All these costs don't just affect you. When you're wiped out from pretending to be someone you're not, you have less energy for connecting with your child. You have less energy for connecting with the people you care about most. When you're worried about looking like this mom that's got it all together, you're less tuned in to what your child actually needs in that moment. The amazing gift is just being you. That's where the magic happens. When you accept your quirkiness, your sensitivities, your differences, the way you journey through this world, you're basically giving your child permission to accept their quirks, their sensitivities, their differences. When you say, hey, I need to wear these noise canceling headphones at the grocery store because the sounds are just too much for me, you're showing your child that their sensory needs are valid too. When you tell a friend in front of them, I am excited to go with you, but I only want to stay for 30 minutes and then I need to leave. You're teaching your child that they can set social boundaries. They can go through social experiences in a way that works best for them. When you use a planner, an app, a reminder system for your brain and talk about it openly, you're showing your child that different brains need different tools and that it's totally fine. When you say, wow, I am really feeling frustrated right now, I am going to take a few deep breaths. You're giving your child the words and permission to acknowledge how they feel and what they can do to help support themselves. Kids usually learn more about what we do than what we say. They are watching us. When they see you accepting yourself the way that you are, they absorb this message. Oh, I guess I'm acceptable too. It's okay to be me. Now, being your authentic self doesn't mean throwing out everything out the window and going and living on an island. It's about honoring who you are while still being that parent. So here are some suggestions for that. Number one, notice and change your relationship with those should thoughts that we all have. I should be doing more for my child. I should have started therapy earlier. I should have gotten an evaluation by another psychologist. I should look like what society expects me to. I should look like and be like those other moms. I want you to think about those words and how you don't have to fight them. Thoughts are going to come. Don't fight them. Don't get wrapped up on them. Just notice them. We all have them, and they typically come every day. They come from places like your childhood. They come from society. They come from Instagram. But those should thoughts are just thoughts. Your brain tells you things all the time. We just happen to notice those more because they're more painful. So I want you to think about those shoulds as an object. I really like to think of them as actual things. You can write them down on slips of paper and put them in your pocket because they're coming anyway. We're going to invite them on because they're coming anyway. They're not surprising. They show up a lot. Let's not fight them, but invite them on. I want you to honor your sensory stuff. So figure out what sensory input drive you to a place where you just want to get away and see how you can honor that and what you can actually get around. A lot of you know that I love air dry clay. I love making cubes out of air dry clay. It's like creating your own fidget, and it's lovely sensory experience. And when it dries about 24 hours later, it is nice and lovely, gooey inside. It's fantastic. So I had to go to the mall a couple weeks ago to get some shoes. I don't like them all at all. It's sensory overload, all the noises, all the sounds, all the people. When I brought my cubes with me, it was a much better experience. That is a workaround that I found to be helpful. You may also want to create a quiet, comfy retreat space in your home that you can go to. We have a small house, and so there's really not a lot of room to have a place that's away. We don't have really an extra room for that. It's this particular place on the couch when I finally get to rest and get my comfy blanket on. See how you can take care of yourself. And talk matter-of-factly with your kid about your sensory needs so they can also understand that it's okay to do these things. I passed one of my little air dry clay fidget cubes to my son yesterday. And I was like, you just squeeze it a little bit. He smashed it. If that works for you, that's cool too. It's whatever helps you feel more calm in your body. Use those noise canceling headphones, maybe sunglasses, whatever. When your child sees you taking care of your sensory needs, They can learn that their own sensory experiences are real and valid too. Be real in your social life. This has been such a game changer for me, thinking that it was better, literally better, if you have a group of girlfriends, right? You have this group of girlfriends and you do things together and you text every day and your families hang out. That's how it was supposed to be. But I'm not built like that. And that's okay. I can't handle a ton of social time unless it's with very few people. And I only have a couple of friends. And we don't text every day, and that is okay. Seek out people who like the real you. They like you for your authentic self. And I can say for the first time in my entire life, that's true for me. Your child is watching how you navigate social stuff. When they see you setting healthy boundaries, saying what you need, saying what you don't need, they can learn that they can do that too. Work with your brain, not against it. That's number 4. Figure out systems that actually work for you. Sometimes they need to be changed. I was just talking about this earlier. When you notice that things aren't working the way they did before, you're allowed to change it up, experiment. Maybe body doubling works for you. That's really helpful for me. Being able to say, this is what I'm going to work on in the next 15 minutes and state it to someone. It helps me be more focused because they're also expecting me to work on that specific thing for the next 15 minutes. I use visual reminders, timers, the time timer I'm a big fan of. Whatever tools help you, it's pretty cool to acknowledge that in front of your kids. Maybe that's not what works for them, but they can see that you're figuring out what works for you. I ordered yet another planner, a new planner, and the front of it says something like, "You can do this, Holly. I believe in you." I literally had it printed out that way. I ordered it that way because I thought it would help me, but it didn't. And that's okay because I'm figuring it out. Celebrate your unique strengths, your thinking, your way of moving through the world is cool. Instead of shaming yourself, instead of being mad at yourself, I'm not good at this, I'm not good at that. They see you saying that stuff to yourself. It's pretty cool when you learn to understand yourself and what you need and appreciate it. When your child sees you accepting your differences, they learn that different thinking styles, different ways of being have value. Number 5, talk to yourself like you talk to someone you care about. Notice when those harsh thoughts are coming in. Sometimes that comes from your experience when you're younger. You're lazy, you're not trying hard enough. You know better. How many times do I have to remind you? I want you to gently notice those thoughts and set them to the side. They can sit next to your shoulds. I want you to speak about yourself with kindness. I want your kids to see you do that. I have been working really hard at catching that because that's not how I want to talk to myself. I've done that most of my life. You're lazy, you're not good enough, you're this, that, blah, 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 blah. With practice, this gets better. And I know that because I've been practicing a lot. Your child is absorbing how you talk about yourself and it's shaping their inner voice. So when you notice the shoulds, when you notice you're being mean to yourself, Think about that. You don't deserve that. You don't want that for you, and you don't want that for your child. I want you to think about making being real a family value. So as you get more comfortable with being the real, you can make authenticity a whole family thing, right? Have maybe family check-ins where everyone shares what they really need or want. Create a family tradition that honors each person's actual interests. Make home the place where everyone can take off their mask and be them. Celebrate differences instead of trying to make everyone act the same. Problem solve together when different needs clash, because that happens, especially when you have different neurologies in your house like we do. Your neurodivergent child is going to face a lot of pressure to mask and a lot of pressure to act like someone they're not. Home should be a place where they can just be them. Let's talk about keeping it real while dealing with the real world. A part of our job as parents is helping our kids navigate a world that has all these expectations. And the key is navigation without making themselves feel bad. It could be, I'm using these tools to help me get through challenging environments. That's something that you can say that you're doing. For example, I'm on a blood thinner because I've had 3 episodes of pulmonary embolies. Not fun. So I have to check my blood a lot. And I can't remember always with all the things that I have to do, running the clinic, homeschooling, and figuring out all these other things. I asked the nurse, message me through the Duke portal and remind me, because I'll get a notification in my inbox, remind me the day that I need to check my blood at home. And then I'm going to send you the information if it's in range or not. I got bold and let her know what I needed, and she shows up. If I go to the vet and they start telling me verbally what I have to do because Sammy has a lot of ear infections, I tell them that's a lot of instructions. Will you please email them to me? And then also just print it so I can refer back to it. They do it. I show the boys that it's okay, keeping it real. This is what I need. This is how I can navigate this world by letting people know. Now, I don't always get the response that I'm hoping for, but I'm not scared to do it anymore. Again, this teaches how to let people know what you need as you learn more about what works for you. And it's okay to ask. The ripple effect of moms being real, embracing their authentic selves. Amazing things can happen. You can be a more powerful advocate for yourself and for your child. You can help create spaces where different brain types are actually welcome. You show other parents what real acceptance looks like. You can help shift how our culture views differences. Your journey toward being more you isn't just for you. It's part of making the world better for all neurodivergent people. If you don't have the spoons to be that advocate in that moment, you don't have to. You don't have to. When you do have more spoons, you can advocate more confidently, again, for yourself and your child and for others. And last but not least, I don't want to sugarcoat this for you. The path to being your authentic self can be hard. You're going to run into judgment. It's going to happen. People don't know your journey. They don't know you. They don't know your child. They don't know what's best for you. They're just not used to seeing people be their true selves. I think sometimes even that judgment is, wow, I wish I could do that. The path to being your true, authentic self is not smooth. And you're going to run into pushback, even from family members who are more comfortable with the masked version of you, right? Maybe your extended family gets together and you say that we're going to leave in an hour and go home because we're pretty drained. Maybe you encourage your child to tell you when they're really angry with you, and other people don't get that. There's going to be judgment from people who have this idea of what parenting is supposed to look like. You're going to have to face these internal fears, these internalized fears of, I'm not going to be accepted if I'm myself. You might not be. Those people are not your people. There's going to be a little grief there with that. I spent so much of my life trying to be what I thought other people wanted. And I never really even got to know myself. You may find that you're grieving that, like you're grieving for the years that you spent hiding your true self. And let that come. That's a normal thing. But you don't have to go another year doing the same thing. You can start that journey of getting to know yourself and what works best for you, and putting boundaries in place and being able to show your kids so then they can also not have to spend so many years hiding themselves. And that's what I want for my kids. I don't want them to go decades of their life trying to pretend they're people who they're not, because that's not really a way to live. So working through these challenges that come up with being your authentic self, you're showing what advocacy looks like to your children. You're showing them what resilience looks like. I can't tell you how lovely it is to tell the world on this podcast that I am falling in love with my weirdness. It took a long time to get to this point, and I was grieving about my first 50 years. But now I'm so thankful that I'm not going to look back at 60 years of hiding and being worried about rejection and people are going to think I'm strange and blah, blah, blah. So wrapping up, so here's what I really want you to take away today. Your authentic self, with all your quirks and sensitivities and strengths and challenges, it is exactly what your neurodivergent kid needs. By embracing all of who you are, you're giving your child this incredible gift, permission to be who they truly are. And when they see that being authentic is valuable, that differences are worth honoring, and that taking care of your needs is a healthy thing, you're setting them up for a lifetime of self-acceptance. Your journey towards authenticity might be the most important parenting move you will ever make. Thanks for hanging out with me today on the Autism ADHD podcast. And I hope to see you next time. Take care. That's a wrap on today's episode. If you found this helpful, please consider hitting that like button and subscribe so you don't miss anything. And if you're thinking, oh, I know somebody who would really appreciate this episode, please send it on to them. Also, don't forget, go down to that description below because I have loaded it with free resources and information on my parent workshops and continuing education trainings for therapists. Everything you need to keep learning and growing. Thank you for being here, for caring, and for choosing neurodiversity affirming approaches. I look forward to seeing you next time on Autism ADHD TV. Take care.
All content provided is protected under applicable copyright, patent, trademark, and other proprietary rights. All content is provided for informational and educational purposes only. No content is intended to be a substitute for professional medical or psychological diagnosis, advice, or treatment. Information provided does not create an agreement for service between Holly Blanc Moses, Crossvine Clinical Group, the interviewee, Holly Blanc Moses LLC, and the recipient. Consult your physician regarding the applicability of any opinions or recommendations with respect to your symptoms or medical condition or the symptoms or medical condition of your family member. Children or adults who show signs of dangerous behavior toward themselves and/or others should be placed immediately under the care of a qualified professional.